Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Well, you saw the opening tile, Chain Lake Express Wash season opener, part 1 here on season number 6 of Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. The program brought to you by All Ply Roofing, and we're stoked to start another year off with you. My name's Caleb Hart. Ben Eineman going to join me in the booth here for season opener numero uno. Ben, exciting night. We've got 4-cylinder extravaganza, and then finish it off with some V8s and street stocks, and of course the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late model. It's going to be a killer night of action.
It's going to be a great night of action. 5 really strong classes out here tonight here at Evergreen Speedway. It's been a long off season. We've all awaited this day coming back, but Home Track Heroes is back for more action from the Super Speedway of the West.
And we will show you a variety of courses from the Super Speedway of the West going tonight. We've got our 3/8 oval in action. We're going to have the road course. We'll have the Stinger 8 course. Maybe even the 5th mile getting in action. I think we got some Youth Hornets coming up. So sit back, relax, enjoy, crack a cold one, and let's get to her, as on the track is the PRCBD Hornet B-main event on said road course. Front row, Zach Dixon, the color specialist, premium quality car paint service number 67 out of Marysville, and Carly Gosler is the 5 from Sultan, sponsored by Mom and Dad.
The 65 is Youth Hornet graduate Bryson Wingfield out of Monroe, sponsored by Papa Tony Hill. Starting alongside the 131 of Luke Davis, he's out of Sultan.
Third row is the 029 Joseph Villarreal from Vancouver. Full Throttle Graphics sponsors him, and Jason Karenberg in the 2 next to him from Cedro Woolley, the Yeti Racing Machine.
024 Donna Gillespie's out of Salem, Oregon, and sponsored by Waltz Woodco. The 195 Devin Jenkins out of Maltby, sponsored by Pacific Northwest Traffic Control. He's from the back.
The 100 from Granite Falls, Anae Madalena and Alicia Dixon, my classmates in the Three Brothers Garage 91 from Marysville.
The 016 Brandy Jones is in the Full Throttle Graphics Machine, and the 46R Calvin Delaverne out of Snohomish, sponsored by Reppin Welding and Rail.
We'll finish off the lineup as they go 4 wide here in the opening lap. You'll see the 13 of Brad Ferris from Sultan, the 37 of, we think, Tim Burns, and Matt Finch, the 74 from Sultan, in the Heath Waterlines car, as the chaos has already begun, man. They were 4 wide on lap 1.
The Hornets, you know, these are small 4-cylinder cars. They can fit 4 wide on that big 3/8 oval. Zach Dixon has opened up a commanding lead so far, but, you know, you got to settle in. This is the road course. This is one of a few courses the Hornets will run this season. And right now we're looking at Donna Gillespie trying to go downside the 2 of Karenberg. But right now we still run Dixon, Gosler, Davis, and Wingfield.
You said the operative word, and it is settle in. They do have a long race. There's 18 laps still left in this, but these drivers are trying to move their way forward into a main event action in which they can take the trophy or take the spot. Top 4 are going to be offered that option at the end of this, and that's a long, long ways to go here on this road course.
That's right. You want to be in the top 4. Oh, problems. That looks like to be, I think that's the 016 of Brandy Jones. That car's been renumbered a handful of times.
I don't know. That could be an 024 to me.
I know it's not the 024 because I know Donna has a new car this year.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
You're going to stake your one mistake for the year on that one right there.
I am. I talked to Trent a little bit early in the night down in the pits. He has been hand building those cars himself. I know that she's got a new car.
All right, because if you are wrong here, you get no more for the rest of the year.
I'm willing to roll the dice, Caleb.
All right, as the arbiter of the mistakes around here, we'll let you pass.
All right.
There's a move. We can tell that is the 029 of Joseph Villarreal. He needs a little bigger numbers. Those little baby numbers.
I think they're working on it, but right now the little baby numbers is doing well. He's up into 4th position. That final transfer spot, we'll see Gosler, he's up into 3rd with Wingfield in the final transfer spot for it. Not sure where Luke Davis went in the 121. That's definitely a story to look forward to.
Hey, easy way to pick up nicknames early in the year. Luke Davis and the magic disappearing car.
Well, you know, oh, there it is.
Hey, Luke.
It's
nice
slow and on top of the 3/8 oval. Problems for Luke Davis in the 131.
So top 4 rolling in and through, and again, it's all about transferring if you want to. Some drivers have occasionally taken the trophy and said, I've had enough racing for the night. And again, it is a long course. You look at it, longer than your traditional 3/8 because they've got to come weaving through the middle, make that weight transfer portion of the corner, and then that sharp left hook getting onto the back straightaway. It'll take a lot out of a driver.
Yeah, this utilizes a lot of our courses. Ooh, big contact between Gosler and Villarreal. Gosler's into the wall. Flagger Ben on the front stretch, one of our usuals here, is going to wave his yellow flag, but the actual yellow flag will come out from JD on the flag stand.
Yeah, quite the strike there on the front straightaway as Gosler getting a little more intimate with the front straightaway wall. That'll slow her roll and change things up in the top 4 as we come back to green with 14 to go.
Looks like Gosler was able to get the car refired. I see that car down below coming from the back. Ooh, Wingfield got loose. That was a shove from the Pacific Northwest Traffic Control 195.
However, keeps it going. Lost a lot of spots. Lost that transfer spot, which is going to be the biggest bummer. As down to the inside, that is Dixon battling with Villarreal, who went weaving in between Uke tires. We'll see how that is assessed later, as he definitely didn't stay on the designated course there on the opening lap.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that comes out. Ooh!
Wow!
Karenberg, a little action there, but Villarreal does well to keep the car straight, keeps it fired, still running second, but now Donna Gillespie alongside Karenberg. These drivers, it is 18 laps, we're 13 to go now, but getting the elbows out, these Hornet drivers are feisty.
I didn't realize we were going to get bumped pass racing this early in the season.
I didn't either, but we are definitely putting on a show. More contact between Karenberg and the 024, and they're going to come into this weight transfer section, Caleb.
Oh.
This is definitely a tough spot.
Just leaning on each other all over the racetrack, and we got one slowing up once again.
Oh.
The 100 of NA Madalena. So, all right. It's only a B-main, but already fireworks are up and going. Fists might be flying in the pit area, you know?
Yeah, the car is definitely getting the elbows out. It's early in the year, too. It looks like we've gone single file restart, and maybe just a little bit of a help to get these guys going. It is early in the year, too, so, you know, we have some new drivers and new cars and, you know, a couple new drivers to the Hornet class, so I think everyone's just trying to figure it out. Oh, Wingfield takes some more contact there in the 65.
Bold move to the inside by Jenkins, looking for that final transfer position, as he is going side by side with the 37 of Tim Burns. Burns making the big run up from the back of the pack, trying to take a spot in the A-main, and Jenkins, car that you will see Stinger 18, I am 100% certain
100%
of.
sure.
Yep. Making his move to try to get some extra Hornet A-main action.
Yeah, Devin Jenkins started at the back of this field, actually, having to come all the way from the rear, doing this in front of a lot of his also supporters. The Pacific Northwest Traffic Control had a good group of fans here tonight, so supporting their driver, good to see. As we'll see, ooh, Wingfield and Burns getting a little loose behind. I think this is the battle right now for, I believe it's 4th, 5th, and 6th. So this is for the final transfer spot. We're currently held by Devin Jenkins, Burns, and Wingfield coming closely behind them.
And this is where we've seen the most of the physicality here in the early going. Burns taking a peek to the inside on Jenkins. Will he put a corner panel to him? He will not. In fact, he's just going to drive right by him and try to blow the stickers off the side of the door. Side by side, and a little physical coming off the corner. Burns retakes the spot as time ticking away. Jenkins will come back after him through the weight transfer portion.
Yeah, Wingfield's right there, too. He can't be forgot about in this battle. Could definitely pounce if Burns and Jenkins get into some more contact. Jenkins, I'd hit that Motorsports, living up to the namesake. They're not afraid to get the elbows out. They're figure-8 drivers by trade, but also running in the Hornet class a little bit here.
Seat time is seat time as Wingfield from the Youth Hornets figuring out how to use the front bumper. Looks like a new car for him as he has upgraded his ride. As we're going to flash back forward to 2nd and 3rd. That battle getting intense for a second. Still 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're going after it, and it's Wingfield making the bid for 5th.
Yeah, right now the Hornets have some of the best on-track battles right now. Karenberg and Villarreal, that's the battle for, you know, one of those 2 transfer spots. But if those drivers choose not to transfer, that's a podium battle, potentially where the other drivers could shake out. So these are for position and also for transfer spots. It'll be 1 to go for Zach Dixon at the line. He's had maybe the easiest one of all the nights. He's only really come under fire once.
Yeah, Zach just got away and hid from the field, other than the restart stacking up and in behind him. White flag due out one more time around for the first segment of the year here on Home Track Heroes. Zachary Dixon bringing Joseph Villarreal, Jason Karenberg representing Skagit County, and a fierce battle for 4th as you watch Dixon escape down the back straightaway. That is going to be, as we sit, 4th and 5th right now on the racetrack as we get a look at your winner.
Yeah, Zach Dixon will come off turn 4 and see the checkers for the first time this year. Capture the first checkered flag. Villarreal, Karenberg round that out. We'll see who's going to come get the 4th transfer spot. We're looking looks like Burns over Wingfield.
All right, Burns hangs on over Bryson as we'll move forward. Big thank you to PRCBD, class sponsor of our Hornets once again here this season. Thank you guys very much for your support of Evergreen Speedway and Home Track Heroes. We move forward. It's Youth Hornet time. These drivers are out here running for trophies on the weeks they're scheduled. They receive no points, though, during the year, so we will not crown a season champion, just one of the little hiccups of them. They're typically on the 5th mile around the inside, although sometimes we'll throw some variation on them and extend the racetrack. Let's give you a look at this year's competitors in the Youth Hornet division. It is the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets with River Peter in the 44 out of Snohomish, repping well into rail. And to her outside, Sophie Neal out of Everett, car number 24.
Kylie Ansurian, one of the returners here in the Youth Hornets in the 67X, is out of Snohomish, sponsored by James Peak Honest Transmission. The 50 car, that's Caleb Williams. He's out of Gold Bar.
Row number 3 is Alexis Tubbs. She was a feature winner last season out of Monroe, the DL Enterprises 23. To her outside, Hawk Jenkins, car 35 from Maltby, sponsored by I'd Hit That Motorsports.
Another Jenkins appearance, the 4, Taylor Thompson out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weather Right Roofing, rounds out our field. We had more competitors. These are the drivers who made this A-main event tonight, but quite a good crop of Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets and only 3 returners in the class. You see all 3 of them in this one, but a lot of new young rookies to this class this year, Caleb.
See how many times I can misidentify Kylie Ansurian over the course of the year. So whereas you're only allowed 1 mistake, I'm allowed at least 1 per night, possibly even more.
These are the rules of your contract.
Hey, it's all written in. Green flag is out. We're off and underway as you look at the 24 of Sophie Neal for a couple of seconds. Wide exit onto the front straightaway and into the corners. Our Youth Hornet drivers, some of them learning, and some of them just shaking the rust off.
Yeah, Caleb Williams has jumped up to the lead. Ooh, contact Hawk Jenkins and Neal. The 24 around. We'll see if she can get the car refired and rolling. Hawk Jenkins is using that 35, comes back out in front of the Uke tire, gets back on the course. I was going to say, Caleb Williams really put the gas down to start this race, took off, and did not look like Neal was able to get that car refired, and it looks like we'll come under caution.
So we'll give her a chance to fire it back off as pilot light lit, and one more look at how it went down, and
oof,
you know, wrong place, wrong time, and there's a little bit of, you call it driver's awareness at that point. If you're Neal, new to the division, may not have the situation awareness to know, okay, you're going to have a fast guy coming up on the inside. You can't necessarily turn down that quick. And a lot of the times, you won't see rearview mirrors in this class because parents trying to develop their drivers don't want a mirror driving all the time.
Right.
So, yeah, wrong place, wrong time. Lesson learned for Neal. She'll go to the back of the pack and hopefully get to make some more good laps here. So we'll go in car. Big thank you to Brandy Hood Promotions once again for our GoPro usage, or whatever GoPro-like device she's carrying around. Mounting them up in the River Peter 44. A little look at some split screen going on. Peter will be on the right-hand side of your screen as they all trail around. Caleb Williams, no, not the Chicago Bears quarterback, but the race car driver out in front of this Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornet A-main.
The Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets always also restart single file. They are single file restarts, and they do not restart. They only come to green double wide to start a race. Caleb Williams has been quick on the gas pedal, as I was mentioning before we came under caution. Was during his heat races, during practice, was not afraid to send it between a couple cars, send it in some tight gaps, showing not a lot of fear in that 50, and that's why he's running up front in his debut here.
He entered the corner. Oh, look out. Well, I think the dream of Neal of making all the laps is going to go away quickly. His front end into the wall, and I'm assuming some radiator steam billowing out. That is a tough break there. Let's get another look at how it all went down. This time from the drone shot. And got to say a big thanks to the Drone House, H-A-U-S, for providing the shots. Thank you, guys. Oof. From the front straightaway, there's another look at Neal. We'll come back. We got more action. We're only one segment into 2025's Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. Home Track Heroes soldiers on here on Seattle 11, presented by All Ply Roofing. Ben Hyman, Caleb Hart, and we are in Youth Hornet action. Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornet main event action, and the House of Drone shot once again. The drone house from up above. 18 laps to go. On the 5th mile around the inside, Caleb Williams been fast so far. Kylie Ansurian and Alexis Tubbs trying to hunt him down as we get ready to go back to green flag action, Ben.
Yeah, the Speedway Chevrolet pace car is going to bring them around. It's been a good event so far. We've lost Sophie Neal. Heard everything's okay there with that driver after that hard contact with the Evergreen Speedway wall. The track will turn off, or excuse me, the car will turn off, and the green flag will come out. This is such a cool shot. Oh, looks like Caleb Williams was slow on the gas pedal. Kylie and Syrian's going to get down the inside. Sorry, I'm still just admiring the shot. This is a very cool angle to have.
You know, drone's always very cool, and it gives you a different perspective if you've been up at the grandstands. Kind of what it actually looks like getting into threes. There goes Alexis Tubbs.
Oh!
Bang! Through the corners. Syrian and Tubbs together coming off, and we will see the yellow lights fly and the yellow flag out. Tubbs not rolling. Syrian still is. Replay time coming up.
It looks like Syrian got down the inside here. Caleb Williams had to get pushed down. Here comes Tubbs. It looks like we're trying to make it 3 wide.
And everything's fine until right there where Syrian got into the corner panel of Tubbs in the 23 and sent them all drifting out into Never Never Land. Let's take a look. More of a flat angle here at the exit of corner number 4. So into the turn, Syrian around, fishtails, and little collision. They can't get her back together. From the cockpit, the Brandy Hood Promotions shot of Kylie Ann.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Tubbs was just trying to avoid this Uke tire. Comes around. Nope. Maybe a tad bit of contact there.
You know, it's they're not running with spotters in the division.
No.
But Tubbs, from that angle, was clear. And, you know, things happen lickety-split, you know. So, happened very quick. Cars wreck. New parts for everybody. And we get to stack them back up and send them back to green flag action here in just a second.
Tough break there for both those drivers involved, so we'll come right back to you. Looks like we reset Williams, Syrian, and that looks like Peter currently running 3rd.
Okay.
Then I think we've got Thompson and is that Hawk Jenkins at the back?
I'm going to trust your judgment. It's either that or you can just identify that car however you'd like.
I think it's Hawk Jenkins because I think that's all we have left at this point.
I'm going to trust you. So, Caleb Williams, who had drifted all the way back to 3rd, now has the lead again, and it's Syrian's turn to try to take it from him once more heading into the first corner. Here at Home Track Heroes, the segment brought to you by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. They now have sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it. Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle. Exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington.
Looks like a good battle here of the lead. Williams and Syrian. Syrian gets down the inside. Caleb Williams running that Bjornsson tri-oval line here in the Youth Hornets. We saw Mr. Bjornsson tackle that tri-oval line, get to the front a lot last season. Maybe Caleb Williams is trying his best at getting out wide.
Part of it is getting down far enough in the corner. You've got to really get sharp angle and down at corner entry to make that work, then shoot the momentum coming off way wide. If you only go halfway, you're really not getting the benefits of being able to keep your foot in the gas as long as you need to. So, but that may come with experience. Again, Williams, a newcomer to the division. Syrian had more than a handful of races last year, and here with just 9 laps to go, she's got control.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is doing a good job hanging with the bumper, maybe almost following Kylie Ann around, kind of using that 67X as maybe a spot to learn where to hit these apexes, where to hit these corners. Hawk Jenkins has moved his way up into 3rd, but a little bit off this battle. This battle for the lead's getting hot. Williams might look down the inside. No. Grabs on the binders and just settles in again. 8 laps to go right now.
Syrian's got enough experience to know, protect the inside groove in this class. If you're fast enough to drive around, you let him. Oh! Well, Caleb Williams, welcome to the Uke tire. He is unforgiving, he is merciless, and he ends races.
Oh, that was a tough hit for Caleb Williams in the Uke tire. Give the static shot off turn 4. Clipped. Oh, yeah, just ran out of room.
And those Uke tires are, and especially when they get filled up with water like that, they are heavy, and they will mess up a front. They're going to have to go in and check out all the geometry on that left front of Caleb Williams, who, much like the Chicago Bears quarterback, just took a sack over and over again. Goodness gracious. All right. Uke tire 1, Youth Hornet 0.
Yeah, you saw the water kick off that Uke tire, too. These things have been storing some off-season drainage for a while, but
Still rolling.
And the car's still out there. Caleb Williams, like the Chicago Bears quarterback, is willing to get back up off the turf.
Took the sack and got back up.
Yeah, and he's going to keep rolling.
So the thing you're going to want to watch here on the Williams car in particular, and the way that it took the impact, is that, okay, it might be rolling, it might be structurally intact, but it's very easy to bend a strut, even bend a spring, knock out the toe, knock the caster camber that you have going with that front tire off. And so I would recommend that he baby steps it into the corner for a little while, doesn't go full send like he would, because it may not quite want to get in the way that it was before. It doesn't take much more than about, and you can almost see it in the way that car fishtailed coming out of the turn. It doesn't take more than 1/8 of an inch to get bent the wrong way to dramatically affect the handling on a car, which is truly still very close to a stock car. There's not a lot of performance pieces or aftermarket pieces that you can put on a Hornet.
Sure. Unfortunately for you, Caleb, Mr. Williams is not heeding your warning and has full sent it into every turn and is quickly back up into third.
It sure looks like he's got a handful, though, and you can see it at that angle right there, how much he's having to turn, like physically put into the steering wheel input to get that car coming back around.
And the more and more you're turning that wheel, the more speed you're losing in that corner having to make that turn.
Yeah, that's a lot of scrub speed. And you can see it, like he's worked his way past the 4th and 5th place car, but Surian is cruising, and Jenkins has got a lot of pad in between them as well.
Yeah, Jenkins also, that car has been involved in a couple things already. So they were trying to get Hawk Jenkins maybe and try to close up on Surian, but only 3 laps to go here at the line. Surian, this is not going to be the last time we'll see her, and I heard that she'll be making a Stinger 8 debut later tonight as well. So
cool.
That's 67-0. Currently, your leader here in the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets. The 1/5 mile will be 2 to go. See if Hawk Jenkins has anything to throw at the kitchen sink for the 67X.
Yeah, he's digging around. He's rummaging through the doors. He's found that like $3 can opener that only works a couple of times and before you have to throw it away because the teeth aren't good anymore. And it seems to be working. Keep throwing them can openers, baby. He's down to a lap to go, and he's closing in.
Yeah, Hawk Jenkins has closed this gap. River Peter is the car in front of them. Don't know that Peter's going to come into play. We'll see if Hawk Jenkins can send anything into this final turn. Surian quick on the brake. Jenkins is going to send it in deep. Get to the bumper, but doesn't look like he has enough.
Valiant effort, though. Well done, Jenkins. Congratulations, Kylie Angan, on getting the feature win here on the opener. And through the magic of TV, let's go to the podium interviews.
All right, Caleb, how did that feel? Was that your first time out here?
Yeah.
And how did it feel to come home 3rd place in your first race out?
Really good.
Yeah, that car was fast. Who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I want to thank my dad and my uncle for getting the car out here. I want to thank my grandma and my mom for the support, and just all the fans.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing the rest of the year for you. 3rd place tonight, Caleb Williams. All right, Hawk, how's the car feeling, and how good is it backed out at Evergreen?
It feels good to be back. The car is acting up a little bit. We had to fix some problems, so.
But 2nd place, a strong finish. The podium's got to feel good.
It feels great, especially first night.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
My mom, my dad, First Line Printing, Rich Printing, my family for getting me a new car. That's it.
All right, let's give it up. 2nd place, Hawk Jenkins. All right, Kylie, a win on opening night. How good does that have to feel?
Amazing.
That car was fast most of the day. Who helped you get out here with that?
My dad, Honest Transmission, Chip Happens. 1 second. Higher Standard Construction, McCarthy Electric, Waltz Woodco, AAA, Super Clean, Darrington, Napa, Steve, the Reppins, and just everyone, all the fans.
And this year, Youth Hornets, but what class are you looking to go run after this?
Well, later tonight, I'm going to be running Stingers, and then after Youth, I'm probably either going to stick with just Stingers or move up to the Hornets.
All right, let's give it up. Your Youth Hornet main event winner, Kylie Ann Surian.
Well, how about it? Kylie Ann Surian, victory lane. Check that box. She's got a win in her back pocket already here in 2025. You're watching Home Track Heroes, presented by All Ply Roofing, and it is time for the PRCBD Hornet A-main event. There are officially 24 cars starting this bad boy on the road course for 30 times around. Andrew Zachary in the 39 and Trinity Reppin, the 45 out of Snohomish, the Reppin Welding and Rail car are on row number 1.
Scarlett Fisher in the 19 out of Marysville, sponsored by GN Northwest, starts on row 2 alongside the 01 of Tanner Bjornson out of Arlington, sponsored by All Ply Roofing.
It's David Dix in the 86 from Stanwood, Three Brothers Garage, Brian McNamara, the 101 next to him out of Snohomish, True Line Wheel and Frame of Seattle.
The 022 is Michael Turner spouting his Lightning McQueen throwback scheme out of Monroe, sponsored by Full Throttle Graphics. And the 08, Bobby Hauks out of Snohomish, also sponsored by Full Throttle Graphics.
Fifth row, the very fast Christian Miller out of Everett, Turbo Espresso sponsors the 77. Stephen Dotson's the 25 out of Arlington, sponsored by GN Northwest.
The 17S of Gino Solomons out of North Bend, sponsored by Valley Asphalt. He'll start alongside his grandson, the 717 of Diesel Snyder out of Cle Elum, sponsored by Handy in the Valley.
In the row behind them, the 03 of Lucas House and Fluck from Granite Falls Cornerstone Home sponsors him. And it's Matt Snyder, the third member of the Snyder family, 15 from Snohomish. Handy in the Valley sponsors his car.
The 15R today is being driven by Cole Raridan out of Granite Falls, sponsored by Raridan Racing. The 43, Damon Claiborne, one driver pulling double duty tonight out of Snohomish, sponsored by Kia of Everett.
Row behind them, 00, Dan Miller of Everett. Exterior Wall System sponsors him. And the 16 of Peyton Hopp from Snohomish, sponsored by the Cut Shop of Woodinville.
The G2 tonight is Brad Gruel. He's sponsored by ST's Heating and Cooling. The 1JR, our reigning champion and Division 5 NASCAR National Champion, Zach Bristol out of Snohomish, sponsored by Hibbs Automotive.
And the final two, Zachary Dixon and Tim Burns, your move up from the B-main. It's 22 cars for 30 laps as the green has fallen, and they're 3 wide already down the back straightaway.
Classic Hornet action. Fisher and Bjornson all over the 39 of Zachary. Trinity Rapid will lead us out of lap number 1. Scarlett Fisher and Tanner Bjornson charging hard behind her.
Out front, Reppin making a nice corner. Fisher showing some smoke in the 19 car and the 01 of Bjornson 1, 2, and 3 as the 39 of Zachary gets split. Lightning McQueen, Michael Turner gets on by. And also around the outside, picking up another spot, is that beautiful silver car, though I can't quite pick up the number on it yet. Got any better luck than me on that one?
I believe that's the 86.
86. All right, that's Dixon's car. Gotcha.
Yeah. One interesting thing I love about the Hornets is the oftentimes it is such a big invert for the Hornets. You know, we see our fast time qualifiers coming from the back.
Yep.
You see Dan Miller back there. You see Zach Bristol's back there. We talk about these cars will have to drive from the back and make these passes if they want to capture Hornet, a Hornet win in this A-main event. That doesn't mean these cars up front are slow. Scarlett Fisher has shown a lot of speed throughout lots of different races last year, and coming into this year, in practice was fast too.
Those big inverts will work in this division because you tend to run a longer course, right? You have a long course and the laps take a little bit longer. You also give them a full 30-lap main. So there's a lot of time, and especially as this field gets strung out single file, lots of opportunities to pass. So your faster cars who time in well might have a little better setup, a little bit more of a sportier package, definitely have the opportunity to pick their way through the field. Christian Miller, one of those guys who tends to run up from deep. He wasn't buried as far here today, as already knocking on the door of the top 5 as you get a look out in front at your top 2.
Yeah, we'll see how this race develops. Scarlett Fisher, your leader, you can see how they come off that 3-8 oval, and instead of coming to the line and carrying in 3 oval, they got to take the hard left and come back across the most dangerous intersection in the West over the figure 8 course there and back up through the weight transfer and onto the 3/8. This course is the course that the drivers practice on. One thing we talk about, the Hornets drive multiple different classes or multiple different courses. They only get to practice this one, however. They qualify on this one, so this is the one they know the best.
So one of the things, and I want you to watch it as it comes in through, they're carrying all that speed off the 4th corner of our 3/8 oval, and that puts a lot of leverage on the right fronts of those cars, and then they've got to yard them around to the left and then quickly back to the right. That's a lot of weight movement, a lot of transfer, a lot of stress on those suspension pieces, and those drivers are got to be taking a look, watching those springs, checking out everything that goes in on setting their caster cambers, etc. in those corners week in and week out, because they're putting a lot of leverage on those right fronts.
Yeah, they definitely lean on these cars a lot more than maybe some of our other classes do. Christian Miller, you talk about he's fast. He's down the inside of Trinity Reppin. This is going to be for 3rd place. Scarlett Fisher has all about, we got a Uke tire in the middle of the course.
Oh, that can't be good. That can't be good at all, as Matt Snyder's 15 driving away, and ooh, it got kicked up a little bit of the water out there. Here is Damon Claiborne from the in-car, and ooh, yeah, new parts for everybody, says the parts guy. As careening, was that Turner's 022? It might have been. We're going to take a break. We have got more for the PRCBD Hornet A-main event coming up next here on Home Track Heroes in Seattle 11. We are in the middle of what's been a really fun PRCBD Hornet A-main event here on Home Track Heroes, presented by All Ply Roofing. He's Ben Hyman. I'm Caleb Hart. Oh, production got look at that.
Oh, we're in the quad box.
We're quad boxing in segment 3 here.
Channeling Scott Hansen in our own NFL Red Zone.
Ooh.
Can we get Evergreen Speedway Red Zone?
Yeah.
Is that like a?
I dig this. So green flag out, and you've got Scarlett Fisher, who's up in front. She's got the clear and unencumbered view of everything. Somebody buy her some driver gloves, please. Save for Tanner Bjornson.
I was just about to comment. We need some. Diesel Snyder, Tanner Bjornson, Scarlett Fisher added to our list of drivers who need driver gloves.
That's right. Now here's what's really cool is you get the front and back view of both of them. So there's Fisher with Bjornson coming right or getting close to that rear view look. Meanwhile, Bjornson has got everything he can handle from Michael Turner, who's working over the back of the 01 car at the moment.
Yeah, we got Dodson and Turner, two cars that look fairly similar right next to each other. And then Christian Miller here battling Trinity Reppin.
Reppin with Miller to the outside, noses ahead, has the advantage. Looks like they're going to lean on each other a bit through the corner as Fisher getting further away with almost 10 laps down, 9 down, 21 to go here early.
And something to note, we talk about having to come into this big weight transfer and the stress you're putting on these pretty stock cars. When they come off turn 4, they're carrying so much speed, they like to get up off high and really be able to keep that arc. But that's quite a bump here. If you watch Scarlett Fisher, she's going to come off turn 4 and kind of use, she doesn't come as deep, but those drivers that come deeper, that is quite a hump. They're coming off the banking onto where our 5/8 exit is, and also known as pit entry, pit
right,
exit.
That's part of the front straightaway for the 5/8 mile, right? There is a, for lack of a better term, a slope change. You go from banked racetrack to flat racetrack, and that's when you can see those cars kind of rabbit hop almost and unload as they come down. It's a great observation on your part, Ben. Some of the drivers will start making their arc a little bit sooner, make a sharper turn in to avoid that hop, and some of them will ride all the way through it and just try to carry the momentum. It's an interesting watch.
Yeah, we're taking a look. It looks like we got some bumper hanging. Michael Turner giving us a Bill Bleem impression with the bumper hanging off the back of the car. So Dodson's coming under fire. We'll see if that affects Michael Turner's performance, or if he can maybe get that thing to shake loose and use it as a deterrent to the drivers coming behind him.
Oh, I think Dodson's hunting bumper covers is what he's doing.
Is there a bounty on bumper covers this year?
A bounty on bumper covers. I love the alliteration. I hope so. We could get there.
Oh, Peyton Hupp.
Ow.
Ooh, that cut shop Woodinville newly painted 16 just met its first Uke tire of the year. It's currently the score, Evergreen Speedway 0, Uke tires 3.
Yeah, and they're going to keep winning.
Caleb, I think we stayed green. I think actually all those drivers were able to get that.
Hop got turned around in time and kept its speed, kept it pace.
Right.
So we didn't have to. It also didn't knock the tire further onto the racing surface.
No,
so we're all right.
I applaud you Hornet drivers for keeping us green. Here's Brad Gruhl entering in the picture. I talked with Brad pre-race down the pits. He said, I'm just coming out here having fun. I don't know how many of these I'm going to run, but that is not the same G2 as last year. That is a brand new G2. Mm-hmm. I think Brad made his dirt debut last season, so looking to see him make some awesome runs here out in our Hornet division, moving that G2 forward, getting around Michael Turner. This would be for third.
You know what is the same is he's still fast. That G2 that he had dialed in last year, albeit much more of a lime green, was quick. Brad Gruhl, new car, and same fast results. He's picked his way up and through this field, all the way up in your top 3. It's podiumville for him with time remaining.
And right now, Brad Gruhl is your big mover, but we got a lot of fast cars coming later. I see Damon Claiborne's currently running 8th. I see Zach Bristol's currently running 9th right behind him. Gino Solomon's running 11th. A lot of fast cars are coming. The driver I'm kind of most surprised about, Diesel Snyder, the 717, currently sits 16th. Haven't seen him make his way forward much. I will say he is pulling double duty, so he's already had a lot of racing today with heats in practice, and maybe that wear is just coming at him a little bit.
We got a great in-car there from Gruel, the Brandy Hood Promotions in-car look as he saw a gap to get to the inside of Bjornsson and take that spot. It was almost like you watched the strategy unfold through the camera as he gets to the inside, takes over position number 2 now. So it's Gruel marching forward, Bjornsson third, now Miller, Turner. There's our champion in Zach Bristol and the always illuminated David Claiborne in order.
Yeah, good to see Damon Claiborne back out this season start. Here comes Zach Bristol down the inside of Turner. Bristol, like you said, last year back-to-back Hornet titles, was your 2025 Division 5 NASCAR national champion. Look, he's got something to prove. He told us also coming into the offseason, he wasn't sure he was really going to run a full Hornet schedule. He wasn't really sure what he was doing yet. He was looking at mini stocks and a few other things he might run. Until apparently I put something out on the Speedway Facebook that said he was going for a three-peat and said, all right, well, I guess I am. And so watch out for Zach Bristol. I should say I was insinuating that he might go for a three-peat.
I see.
With the part of the Hornets. And apparently that helped sway his decision. Well, I don't know if he was just saying that to be nice or if that truly was the factor, but I will take credit.
He kind of painted him into a corner there.
I think I did.
Well done.
Thank you.
Tanner Bjornsson trying to hang on to a top 3 right now, but he's got Miller and Bristol closing in behind him. It's good to see that Zach took a lot of that NASCAR winnings and put them into his graphics package this year. As Miller closing the gap on Bjornsson and taking a peek as they get through the weight transfer portion of it with Bristol, the defending champion, right there. That was 1-2, wasn't it? Bristol and Miller?
It was Bristol, Miller.
Aha.
Dan and Christian slotted second and third, so it was an all Hornets Nest top 3 last year. So those cars are fast. This is a great battle here for third between about 4 cars right now. Right now, it looks like Miller's going to beat out Bjornsson at the line, and he's going to slot in, but he's going to have 2 very fast cars coming behind him as well.
With the way that Miller, Christian version, has that car suited out, you get a really interesting look at when he is on and off the throttle, and I'll try to point it out to you again if we get another look at it. But right now, we got to focus up front because this is your battle for the lead with 8 laps to go. Scarlett Fisher trying to pull it off here on opening night, but boy, Brad Gruel on a mission.
Yeah, Brad has been on a mission all night, started near the rear of this field, and has slowly just picked off car after car after car. We talked about how fast he is. Scarlett Fisher, steady improvement all last year, got on the podium for the first time, has seen that 19 just get quicker and quicker and quicker, and so this is going to be a good battle to the finish. Brad Gruel has a lot of speed. Scarlett Fisher getting better week after week, a lot of speed in that 19, and now lap traffic coming into it. This is going to be a good battle for the win.
Scarlett's got a lot of good help in her corner, helping her progress with her career. Obviously, Bobby did good things in the division, had a very good mini stock year, and Scarlett showing some talent of her own. She's going to have to make the right decisions. Bumper check to Burns, and that allows Gruel to swing around the outside with momentum. Fisher going to get hung out to the outside of this right-hand turn and pinched coming off.
Had to get hard on the brakes.
Yeah, the veteran experience of Gruel knew exactly where he wanted his race car, and he'll make the move to take the lead. Well done, Brad.
Well, that was a great move by Brad. Used the lap traffic as a pick, set himself up well, kind of like some of our drivers in NASCAR did in Martinsville, using those picks, getting around, and here goes Brad Gruel in the lead. We'll see if Scarlett Fisher has anything to hunt down the G2. Christian Miller has moved his way up into third. So we'll see how those cars, speak of the devil, there they are.
Wow.
Miller, Bristol, and Claiborne, 3, 4, 5. What a battle this is going to be.
Look at the teal lighting coming underneath the Claiborne car. That looks good. Well done, David.
It does look very, very good.
See, Zach, that's how you take your NASCAR money and put it to a graphics package. I'm just saying. As it is Brad Gruel streaking away from Fisher in that first position, and these laps are going to tick away quickly without him in any kind of traffic at the moment.
Yeah, Brad Gruel, if you're in that cockpit right now, you're just saying one thing to yourself: oh, please no caution. Oh, please no caution. Oh, please no caution. You just want to be able to check out and drive away. You've put a nice little gap to Scarlett Fisher, and here, look at that. Christian Miller and the tailing cars behind him have closed the gap to Scarlett Fisher. So it's tough to go on offense when you're having to play defense.
That is a fantastic battle for 3, 4, and 5, and truly now it's 2, 3, 4, and 5 with Scarlett just a whisker up a hair in front of Christian Miller coming into the corner. Watch that rear tire on the 77 of Miller. You can tell when he's off the gas because the way that the rim on that is sequenced and the way that it's rolling through really shows you where he is on and off the throttle. You can see it slow down, pick back up, and it's going to be right about the middle of turn 3 if we can get another shot of that. You can also see it on the Gruel car coming through as he's really just kind of feathering it a couple of times in and through before picking it back up and coming to the white flag with 1 to go.
Yeah, Brad Gruel has one more time around the Hornet road course before he picks up the first win of 2025 for the PR CBD Hornets. Wow, is that Dan Miller has entered the battle all of a sudden. I have to give a shout out to the 00. What a battle for third this is.
This class is always fun. A lot of great talent in and amongst it. There's that nice little effect that I was telling you about with the rear wheel on the Miller car.
Gotta thank Central Welding Supply. Their mission of excellent service hasn't changed since 1975. Locally owned, larger inventory and expert staff makes the difference at 27 locations. Find one near you at centralwelding.com.
All right, Christian, quite an eventful Hornet main event, but you come home third. How does it feel to be up on the podium to start the year?
Feels great. You know, I was not trying to like push it or anything, but once I got to third, I was all eyes on Brad and Scarlett there. They did a great job. Scarlett, I told her all day she was faster than me, and she was. So I'm happy to be up here with some of my friends and a ton of fans for season opener. Thank you guys for coming out.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get up on the podium tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the Turbo Espresso, Acura, and Tegra was insanely fast, so I gotta thank them. Gotta thank GN Northwest, Fast Eddie's Tire Pros, Rick's Mobile AC, Hornets Nest Racing, and like I said, all the fans. If you guys weren't out here, we couldn't do this. So thank you guys.
Let's give it up. Third place tonight, driver of the 77, Christian Miller. All right, Scarlett, a podium to open the year. That's got to feel good at least. You were leading for so much of it, but so many fast cars. How does it just feel to be up here?
It feels so good. I've been trying so hard for so long to do better, and I think I'm finally getting it. So.
Yeah, that 19 was bad fast most of the night. When you're up there, are you aware of the cars behind you, or are you just forward the whole time?
I try to just look in front of me. I'm running. I'm trying to keep going.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get up here tonight?
All my family, Full Throttle Graphics, GN Northwest, and Steve Peters.
All right, let's give it up. Second place tonight, Scarlett Fisher. All right, Brad, you told me that wasn't your old G2. It's a new one, but that car looked just as fast. How does it feel? Race winner on the first night out.
Yeah, that car is pulled out of the weeds and set up, and it works well. It probably works better than the old G2, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, you were running down Scarlett for a lot of that race. What did it finally take for you to get around and to check out and look back?
You know, she's such a good driver, and, you know, her dad taught her well, so I just kept on her and kept on her and kept looking at the laps, and it's like, maybe, and it happened, so.
So a good result for you tonight. Who do you want to thank for helping you get out of here tonight?
Brandy Hood Promotions, Estes Heating and Cooling, and Raritan Racing, and all the fans, love you guys. Amber Hardy, my girlfriend, and yeah. Everybody that supports me.
All right, let's give it up one more time for your race winner, the G2, Brad Gruel.
Happy you guys are spending your Sunday evening with us here on Seattle 11. It is Home Track Heroes, and we're presented by All Ply Roofing. He's Ben Iman. I'm Caleb Hart. Our first appearance of the Tire Pros and Street Stocks here in 2025. Ben, this class has been dynamite for years, and I think we're in for a treat once again. Let's get a look at our starting lineup.
I absolutely believe we are in a treat. We are led out by the 85 of Jim Fody out of Edmonds, sponsored by Trademark RCS, and the 39, a member of Racing Royalty, Stuart Harding's out of British Columbia. He's sponsored by Harding Forklift Services.
The second row is Jerry Helm. Big door number 8, out of Whidbey Island, Leffler Tree Service, your sponsor. 22, Kenny Erickson out of Tulalip, sponsored by Central Welding.
The 89 is Marty Sokolsky out of Woodinville, sponsored by Matthews Lumber. And the 69, one of the 2 ARC racing cars out there, Austin Camps out of Monroe, sponsored by Phillips Law Firm.
Jackson Beckel, the 18J out of Lake Stevens, Tire Pros of Arlington on that car. Next to him, Steve Potasic, the 06 from Kirkland, sponsored by Lang Automotive. Should be fun. 8 very, very good street stocks here in this one. Nice mix of veteran experience and some youngsters with Jackson Beckel making the move up and starting 7th, and this should be fun to watch him.
Yeah, Beckel, 2 titles in 2 classes in the last 2 years. He's going for 3 and 3 and 3 is what he's told us. So the 18J will start at the back in that second of 2 ARC racing cars.
I got kind of a sneaky look at the behind-the-scenes build on that car as it came together. We'll give you some tidbits and some nuggets on that as the year goes on. The green flag is out, and Jim Fody, who needs to paint his hood, is leading the race out of turn 2.
He's got a good jump on Harding. Right now, Erickson gets around Jerry Helm. New number this year for Jerry Helm. Talked with him a little bit about that. He said when he got the car, it came with a number on it, and he raced it all last year with that, but wanted to create a little bit of an identity with himself and be close to his close friend and familial member in I'm blanking on the name. I feel so terrible
well,
right now.
that's fine. The car was doing that thing where it was sideways and then sideways again.
I think
but
that's
ended
what
up
caused
going,
me to slip.
Yeah, it went the right direction. It's okay now. So
okay.
You'll get there because here's Jerry once again
Oh,
in
I'm
screen
so sorry,
for you.
Jerry. I brought this out.
That is the commentator's curse if I have ever heard it before. As we're going to get a look, the Seattle 11 film crew caught it on replay.
Oh.
A little help. Yeah, just a bit.
Here's it from the drone shot.
The drone house. Ryan and Lucas Hausenflucker operating the drone house drone. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Sorry for just picking a name for you, but I like it.
I think it rolls well. You're 2 for 2.
You may not have gotten as much help as I thought you did. That was just one of those could never really get it back from where we saw it doing that fishtail thing out of the middle of turn number 2. Just never really gathered back up and underneath him.
No, tough break there for Jerry Helm. But, well, sir, he'll get that car back rolling. More quad box from the Evergreen Speedway.
Yeah.
Look at this. We're looking at that open exterior of the back of the 39 from the 06 of Steve Potasic, Austin Camp, and Jim Fody, your leader. And we've also got them coming out of turn 4 in your upper hand corner.
So, rumor has it that Fody got a new hip over this offseason, right?
That is the rumor.
And I think that's where all the power is.
It might be for Jim Fody, although he got a little wobbly there. Good run for Stuart Harding down the outside. You can see that best from Steve Potasic's on board. That's the battle for the lead.
It's the throttle hip, clearly.
It's the throttle hip.
Yes. All right. So Harding's got the top spot. Sitting second now, Fody, as everybody battling in and behind him. And Potasic has shown a real proclivity to running that outside groove. He's going to keep at her. He'll pick him off if they give him that outside position. He's already up to the 3rd spot.
Yes, he is. We'll see how these drivers kind of shake everything out. Camp currently running 5th, Erickson's running 4th, and then Camp 5th. We'll see where Beckel slots in. They're kind of all trading positions back there. Ooh, big run from Fody down the inside of Harding. Wonder if Harding had any issues there. But big dive from the 85. Jim Fody back into the lead.
Yeah, that was weird. It's almost as if the 39 just lost all power. You can see that. That car is slowing significantly in the straightaways from what it was doing before. So you wonder if everything is okay in the engine compartment from Harding's 39. Potasic now position 2 and on the hunt for Fody.
Yeah, we'll see the Neon Devil, Steve Potasic, looking to run down Jim Fody. This is going to be a good battle all year long. Both these drivers have some experience here at Evergreen Speedway and a lot of speed between their 2 cars. Austin Camp looking to come a little bit further back. He's behind Sokolsky at the moment. Right now, Jim Fody. That gets a little dark out there in turn 3 and 4. It's maybe a little. These drivers have to really trust their machines to make sure they're hitting their corners and know this course.
Well, we know Jim's got as much power, if not more, than anybody else within the division. So getting him out in front, running, no lap cars in front of him, just going out and basically, hey, make the best time trial line that you can here for a little while. It's going to be a good situation for him. Little love tap there between Erickson and Beckel. Beckel will make the pass, and he will work his way up and into 4th. So Jackson Beckel is picking his way through.
Yeah, here comes the 18J. We saw last year won Rookie of the Year and the championship in the mini stocks. Now moving up to the big full V8, the street stocks. And oh, right as I say that, is that twice tonight? Oh,
You know,
I might have to watch my back in the pits coming soon.
I just think you're going to get a weird, creepy letter from an anonymous source as we get a look once again from the drone house shot. And up top, around goes Harding, and rolling right into him is the 18 of Beckel, and Beckel contact between the 2 and gets into that age-old discussion of I was covered, I had the line, etc. well, you guys can see it at home and you can be the judge.
Yeah, I'll let everyone make that call at home. Looks like both these cars will continue on. It looks like not too much damage. We'll go on board with the 69 of Austin Camp, watching his teammate and Harding. Oof, everyone had to take to the grass a little bit. You don't want to go up there with these things.
Yeah, good news is that might be relatively damage-free in a lot of the fronts there, as you didn't see parts and pieces flying everywhere. So, parts guy, sad. Everybody else happy as race cars stay on the track and roll around once again, getting ready to come to green. Only 7 laps into this.
Yeah, only 7 laps into this for sure. We'll see Jerry Helms made his way back up into 5th, and I figured it out. It was Mike Shimmick in the 7. Aha. He wanted to be close to Shimmick in the 7, so he picked the 8.
I like it. That works out good. We are coming through the corner. Boy, I like that shot through the 3 and 4.
So
that
beautiful.
is very cool. As we'll go green once again, Fody and Potasic for the lead into turn number 1.
It's a good run into the lead. Now would be a good time. Sit back, relax. Got a good race coming up, and crack open a beverage or get your favorite snack going, I would say.
Why not a Busch beer?
That's a great idea, Caleb.
Busch beer, the official beer of NASCAR. At Evergreen Speedway, Busch beer, the sound of refreshment, crisp and cold as Mountain Stream. Keep your fridge happy by stocking it with Busch and Busch Light. Busch.
It was a good one. It was a very solid Busch.
Nice lead.
So thank you. I appreciate that. Right now, Jim Fody's having to defend from the Neon W. Marty Sokolsky's up into 3rd. Good run for the 89. That machine's making his way forward. Kenny Erickson has sat 4th most of this night, but a very solid 4th right now for Erickson. Both ARC cars, Jerry Helm coming quickly behind.
Up on the outside, Potasic has got his nose about to the numbers on Fody. We got one in the... How many times are you going to lay the whammy tonight,
Okay, listen.
Ben?
To everyone at home, I promise that I do not have some voodoo. I did not go see a witch doctor in the off season. I am brewing no magical potions. I just feel really bad.
Listen, what they're not seeing is your little Marty Skokolski, voodoo doll Hot Wheel that you're just jabbing with your pen underneath as he just loops it in the middle of turn 3. All right, well, everybody's had their chance to spin and recover. Let's settle down. Let's see if we can make 20-ish laps. You're okay.
Just I don't know if I should talk anymore.
Just don't refer to any of them by name
for
the rest of this main event, as it's the Tire Pros Street Stocks main. We're still 9 in, 21 to go. It's the 85 and the 06 out in front.
Yep, those cars look nice.
The 22 and the 69 are running 3rd and 4th.
All right, Caleb, new strategy.
Okay.
If I don't give them compliments, if I just tell them all the things they're doing wrong, then surely they got to do right things on the track, right?
That's when you end up with angry race car drivers in the pit area.
Well, at this rate, I feel like that might be my outcome regardless.
It could very well be, as Austin Camp is trying to barrel his way to the inside of Potasic. He's looking for room down low in 1 and 2. Battle for 2nd. Getting good in and behind. The 85 out in front. Fody, new hip, new power, and leading this race. Out of the corner he comes. Washes a little bit wide. Potasic, a lane to the inside on Jim, getting into 1 and 2 as you look from the speed cam. Makes the big move downstairs, shows him the numbers. Jim gonna try to drive around back through the middle groove, but Potasic now with the preferred line on the inside of the track, and he will snake away to the race lead.
Yeah, that was a good move by Steve Potasic. Got low, passed on the inside. Last year, when we would see the 2 top dogs of this class last year, which was Jesse Jensen in the 3 and Steve Potasic in this 06, when they would duel, it would be who could get to the outside line. You mentioned it earlier, actually, that Steve Potasic likes that outside line, is not afraid to run it. A lot of drivers struggle to find success on the outside on the 3/8. It is a hard to go around the outside, but these 2 drivers can do it well. But Steve Potasic showing if you give him the inside, he will happily take it and drive away from you.
There's going to be some of our Home Track Heroes viewers who are wondering where Jesse Jensen is tonight here in the street stock. And spoiler alert, you'll see Jesse in racing action coming up a little bit later.
Yeah, you'll see him a little later in the program in a different machine tonight. So he hasn't gone anywhere. We don't sacrifice one champion to the racing gods every year. Jesse is fine, and he'll be racing later tonight.
Not only that, but spoiler alert, you will see the car that Jesse raced in the street stock division a couple of times this year, just with a different driver in it. So we'll keep that in our back pocket, let it loose once it comes out. But it's an interesting deal that's going on between those 2 race teams to give each of them a new challenge.
Absolutely. Helm and Erickson into some contact. Jerry Helm wanting by from Kenny Erickson and the two teammates, Beckel and Camp. That was the battle for third. The ARC teammates. We talk about this oftentimes, Caleb, too. At least, here at Evergreen Speedway. They may be teammates. They've got similar paint schemes and similar door numbers. But when the helmets go on, it is every driver for themselves. You see this a lot in the figure 8 racing. We talk about this a lot in the figure 8s, but Outlaws, Super Stocks, and Stingers. But it does show up here in the circle track stuff too.
It's one of the beautiful things about short track racing in particular, and what we have here on Saturday nights at Evergreen Speedway, rain or shine, is that you've got guys who, they work together during the week, share resources, share knowledge, but you don't have 3, 4, 5 Toyotas all teaming up to keep all the Chevys and the Fords out of there, or teams like that working together to let one guy win and make the playoffs. It is every man for themselves once the belts get tight, the chin straps get locked in, and engines fire here on the short track. This is all for individual glory once you're on the speedway in this situation.
There will be no multi-21 between Camp and Beckel here in this situation. They are just going to drive straight at each other. And it's going to be a good battle, I think, all year. I think right now these top 4 cars you see in Potasic, Fody, Camp, Beckel, Helm, you can see how close they're running. No drivers really pulling away from each other. Steve Potasic has opened up a nice gap in the lead, which the clean air and running by yourself will help for sure. But look how closely packed this field is running. I think this is one of these classes where any one of these drivers can put the car together in the right night and come home in victory lane.
All things considered, given the quality of the field, I wouldn't be shocked if every one of these 8 individual drivers has a feature win by the time that the year is over. They've all got the ability, the cars, to do it. It's just going to depend on who gets the best luck on any given night. Tonight, Steve Potasic looking awfully good. He's in a really good spot with the laps to go here.
Yeah, absolutely. The 06 is just kind of settling in. The Lang Automotive sponsored car, the neon on his famous neon, yellow, orange on one side. And this is your best battle on track right now. This is Jackson Beckel, the Rookie of the Year contender, trying to get around, you could say, his team boss and car owner, Austin Camp. But, they're like you said, they're competitors here. And Jerry Helm is close up into the battle. The 8 car spitting some fire, coming to life, trying to get up into the podium battle.
Says if you guys won't settle it out between the two of you, I'll throw my nose in there and see if I can figure out my way forward. Now Beckel going to roll into the middle groove, put the back end, start swimming on him, caught back up to it, kept the spot, and didn't lose a bunch of position. See if Helm can capitalize and make a roll in on Jackson here as time gets short.
One thing I love with these early season street stock late model-esque races is when the lights turn on and the sun has gone down. My favorite thing is look inside those rotors. You can see how hot those brakes are and the glow that comes from underneath the car. Right, you can see it real well there on Jackson Beckel's rolling around. I just think that's such a unique shot we get here at Evergreen Speedway. Obviously, one of the advantages, we're starting here in April. The lights have come on, and the sun goes down earlier than it will as we get later into the year. But such a cool shot to see how these cars shine when it's dark out.
It gives you an idea of how much they are using that brake and how important it is to have a functional, well-positioned, well-functioning braking system, because they use that to load the cars up a lot getting into the corners. They can pick up the throttle earlier and earlier through the turn. Potasic is stretching it. Meanwhile, for second, Fody under fire for Camp, and Beckel right there looking for third to the outside in turn 2.
Yeah, Jim Fody, this car has been steady all night, but has slowed since in those early laps. In the last 20 or so, has kind of slowed and allowed these cars to come out. Jerry Helms maybe trying to get an outside line. We'll see if he can get anything running. Look how close Helms getting up onto that wall, using that to catapult himself into turn 1.
Oh, Beckel had a run underneath Camp there in turn number 1, but Austin keeps him off of him, at least for the time being. 3/8 of a mile left to decide this. It looks to all be Potasic's, but that battle for second through 5th still raging behind him.
Yeah, this will be it'll be Steve Potasic, who's got a Sunday drive home from the market to bring home the first Tire Pro Street Stock Battles. Austin Camp gets loose. Will that open the door for Jackson Beckel? But off of turn 4, Steve Potasic opens the 2025 bank account with a win.
It is, as the teammates together at the end, and Beckel goes off into the wall. Checkered is out. Let's go down trackside to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium. No, wait, we have more. It's, my bad. That's what I get, Ben.
It's all right.
That's all right. That was my
your one
mistake
per night. Oh, so, it looks like Jackson just got underneath Camp. They all got loose. Jerry Helms, some contact. Tough break for Beckel. He's going to lose a lot of spots in that one.
Wow. Look at that glowing rotor once again. So, yeah, the replay on how that all went down. goodness gracious. All right, so from the in-car look here, and you can see they're already making contact. They're already swimming. Almost around, gathers it back together. Coming off the
hump.
corner. And, all right, safe right there. And then behind him, all of the adventure going on. So, all right, now we'll go down trackside. Derek Todoroff at the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Austin, that certainly got interesting there in the end. Facing off against your teammate, as well as having pressure from Helm and Fody in front of you. What's going through your mind in those closing 5 laps?
Yeah, man, I don't know, dude. I'm super stoked for Jackson and the 18J, man, for them to come out as strong and as fast as they were today. And he's no joke, man. Kid's got talent. He was riding my bumper. Just tried to hold it together, tried steady, just counting on a little bit more of the experience that I have. And it almost didn't pay off, but it did just in the nook.
Who helped you get it done tonight?
Everybody. I want to thank my crew that showed up today, Jaden Luce, Cooper, my daughter Adriana, my wife, Phillips Law Firm, Avocannon Real Estate, and Central Welding.
Driver the number 69, third place tonight. That's Austin Camp. All righty, Jim. 2 restarts there. You and Potasic dueling. He just got to your inside off the second one. What more do you think you needed to get to him?
Oh, I need a lot more to get to Steve, man. He's fast. He's a good guy, but he's fast. I just gave it all I had, man.
You've been out here a long time, and it's certainly been a great show. Who helps you get out here week after week?
Did you just call me old or fat?
Old.
Old, okay. Jay, he's my crew guy. He helps me out a lot. My brother's always here helping me. My sister sponsors me. My wife, she sponsors the most of me. She's let me do this for 32 years now and never squawks about it. So.
32 years of putting on a great show.
Also need Ridgemark is helping me, and Everett Mazda and Vista Supreme, and those are Mike's people. Thank you.
32 years of putting on a great show. The 85, Jim Fody, second place tonight. Well, Steve, like I just talked with Jim, 2 amazing restarts. How'd you get to the bottom there to get the advantage?
Well, I knew the car was faster on the outside. There was a huge puddle in turn 2, and for me, it was horrible. And I watched him go over it, and he's sideways, and I was just better on the outside, so the restart was way better for me. I didn't want the inside.
You've been a competitive car these past few years. How are you feeling about your championship chances this year?
I feel good. Anything's possible. Today, during the heat, shock broke off and broke a brake line off, so going in for lap 4, it was an 8 lap, so lap 4 I had no brakes, and the last turn 3, they were completely gone. So I'm just glad it didn't get wrecked.
You continue to put on a great show. Who helps you do that week after week?
Today I want to thank Lang Autosports for the tires. They made me fast.
Driver of the 06, your race winner tonight, that's Steve Potasic.
Well, you've been waiting for it. Our first figure 8 action of the year coming up next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. We're presented by All Ply Roofing. He's Ben Hyman. I'm Caleb Hart. Here they are. It is the Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8s going around the figure 8. Devin Jenkins, the 195 out of Maltby's on the pole. PNW Traffic Control sponsors him. Next to him, Michaela Larson in the 57 from Marysville, sponsored by Mike Hathaway.
Kenny Shukar drives the 78 out of Marysville, sponsored by Be Happy Carpet Cleaning. And the 4 is Ron Powers out of Arlington.
Row number 3, Andrew Renders out of Mukilteo. Mom, Dad, Aunt, and Uncle sponsor the 40. Mike Hathaway is the 46 out of Marysville and the Rep Welding and Rail car.
It's an all JBR. Row number 4 with the 10 car of Cody Hoops out of Marysville and the 20 of Riley Riddell out of Gold Bar, sponsored by DL Enterprises.
The 5th row is the 717 of Diesel Snyder out of Cleellum, sponsored by Handy in the Valley. Next to him, it's the 85 of Hunter Jenkins from Monroe and the I'd Hit That Motorsports car.
The 21, Matt Somerville, your reigning champ out of Monroe, sponsored by Airport Welding and Muffler. And the 16, Peyton Hops out of Snohomish, sponsored by the Cut Shop of Woodinville.
Behind them, Cody Weldon, the 151 out of Arlington All-Ply Roofing, sponsors him and our program. And the 43 of Damon Claiborne from Snohomish, sponsored by Kia of Everett.
Kylie and Surian in the 67X rounds out our field out of Snohomish, sponsored by James Peak. Honest Transmission. Caleb, the green flag is out.
So she wins the Youth Hornet race and is going to move on to run the Stingers tonight.
We've got a lot of double duty in the Stinger race. Kylie and Surian won our Youth Hornet race, now runs this. Damon Claiborne, Peyton Hopp, Hunter Jenkins, or excuse me, not Hunter, Devin Jenkins, Diesel Snyder, all running double duty tonight. And we're very happy that they're here to run some Stingers for us. One of the most fun classes here at Evergreen Speedway, the most dangerous intersection in the West, the quad box. What more could you ask for? Right
Well,
now?
Michaela Larson is out in the lead, and maybe with her winnings tonight can buy a pair of driver's gloves.
And a decal package.
And a decal package, yes. Mike Hathaway second. If those cars look very similar, well, you know why. And Devin Jenkins was in the third spot, but he has got Cody Hoops to the inside and already picking him off. Hoops on the move in the 10 car. He is up to third.
Yeah, this car has been fast all day, the 10 car. Cody Hoops, a former Stinger 8 champion himself, so he knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. Cody Hoops is moving his way forward, looking to get to the front in that JBR machine.
I feel like we saw a lot just last year in this division, and Cody put a lot of laps underneath his belt as he is up and on the back of Hathaway, sitting in the second position and playing a little D for his former car up in front of him with Michaela Larson in the driver's seat. Larson leads, Hathaway and Hoops, your top three are on a breakaway.
Yeah, right now they've opened up the gap. This is what we want to see with Stingers. We want to see this field open up a little bit. That is when the intersection will get hot. I'll give it a couple more laps, but we're already starting to see the tail of the field, see the head of the field as they come around the poles.
So important designation is we don't have turns 1 and 2 or
Correct.
3 and 4 here. We have the north turns or the north pole, and these are the south turns that they're in right now. We call this the south pole, or the right-hand set of corners where you're cranking the steering wheel to the right. Here's the north pole, or the left-hand set of corners where you're coming around to the left. And if you're on the inside of one turn, if you stay side by side, there's a problem. Hathaway and Larson contact. Larson facing the wrong way right as Hoops was trying to get by. And Michaela fires it back up and gets up and going. We'll have a new race leader in the form of Cody Hoops. Mike Hathaway just missing some intersection action.
All of that will get the intersection hot. I'm glad you brought up the poles and the turns here. You know, some tracks like to think they're special because they've only got 3, and they say, where's turn 4? Well, we'll say, where's any of them? We just kind of go around and hope we don't hit each other.
Yeah, you don't spend a whole lot of time with the steering wheel straight here on the Evergreen Speedway Figure 8 course. You are constantly cornering, and especially as you get into the bigger divisions, coming up on future episodes, we'll have both our Super Stock and our Outlaw Figure 8s coming up, and boy, the amount of time those guys spend not turning is very minimal.
You are constantly going around something. We take a look. Matt Somerville, Peyton Hopp, making their way forward. Those are 2 fast cars who were towards the back of the field. I'll also watch out for the 43 of Claiborne. You should also watch out for the 8500 Jenkins making his way forward.
Taking a look, Hoops, your race leader, coming off, and yep, intersection is gonna clog up in front of him, but he's not there yet. First, he's gonna have to get by Michaela Larson, the former race leader that ended up looped out right in front of him. So maybe there's your legitimate pass for the race lead, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah, tough break for Larson there. Just in the wrong place, the wrong time, I think, on that one, Caleb. But Cody Hoops has put his first victim a lap down.
Ooh. Oh, boy. Well, while they're closing in on the back of that, we take a look at Jenkins, Rudell, Claiborne, and Moore battling her out. Diesel Snyder 717 in there also. And when we say figure 8 racing is physical, you don't necessarily see them crashing each other a lot, but there's a lot of that. Bump, 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 just a little bumper tag going in. It's pretty common for the division. The drivers expect it.
Here we go on board with Matt Somerville in the 21. There's the leader, Cody Hoops, just coming in front of him. Oh, big clog up in front of Somerville. Car gets kicked out. That's Riley Riddell. Got kicked out of line and is now facing the wrong way around. That is a tough break for the 20. Cody Hoops. Wow, from that view, it's even more insane, these guys, what they're doing.
Big collision up in front of Somerville with Claiborne, and I didn't catch the number of that train that was running through, but let it be known there was definitely a little beating and banging going on. Again, normal for this division. You're going to see that, and it does lead to tempers flaring every once in a while.
Yeah.
Hoops getting through the intersection, but boy, things are getting awfully interesting.
Yeah, sometimes with our circle tracks, drivers will tell you that they're, we're pretty, sometimes race officials can be fairly strict with the warnings when you're getting too hard on each other. But in the figure eight, you give them a little bit more leeway. It's tough to get around our figure eight course. It's not many groove wide, and wow, what a cool shot this is.
Oh, the drone house doing good work.
Oh,
look at the intersection, a lot of binder action. Bing, bang, boom, car in and around and loses a couple of spots. It's like watching the pinball up at the back of the machine on the bumpers going, and scoring lots of points.
Absolutely. Something here that's interesting, where our leader's coming around taking the line right here. He's side by side with Surian as they Surian breaks for the intersection. Cody Hoops shows no fear, no break for the intersection. The point I was trying to make with that shot is when you look, right as you're coming across, you can see Hoops is going to be on the right side of him. Here he's down to there. You see the ka-chunk of him going down. There is a big drainage gate right there, and it is a big dip down from the racing surface. It is harsh for racers to go through that. They want to avoid that at all costs. So throwing a little extra course design challenge, you could say.
If you hit it, it will definitely upset the race car as everybody just slinging the cars around, and we have got two together in the form of the 20 of Riley Rudell and Kenny Shukar, the newly retired Kenny Shukar. Congrats on the retirement, Kenny. You'll have time to fix your race car. As let's take a look at the replay and how it all went down.
From the drone house, just a big stack up.
Into the corner, it starts with contact between the 78 and the 20 and finishes exactly the same way with Cody Weldon nowhere to go. Cody Hoops.
Well, there was leaders in front of your car, and then there wasn't.
Good evasive driving. Thump. And another one. Well, so that's what we were talking about. Gets physical. Gets fun. Looking forward to how we're going to finish this one out. We only have about 12 laps left to go.
Yeah, the action has me mouth-watering here for more intersection action, Caleb.
Now, here's the thing. They may be able to solve this all over a nice mouth-watering after-race meal at the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. That's right, Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Serving hand-cut Angus steaks, breakfast all day, and mouth-watering burgers. Visit one of their 13 locations. Buzz Inn Steakhouse, proud sponsor of this Stinger 8 Classic, and I really, after reading that, want a tsunami skillet.
Oh.
Have you had it?
I have not.
Okay.
Do I need to go have it?
It's like lots of potatoes, and there's some country gravy, and bacon, and eggs, and basically everything that you could ever want in a skillet. And it's got a cool name.
The Tsunami?
The Tsunami skillet.
Here's what I'll be honest with you. I'm 50-50 on naming the things after natural disasters. The Carolina hurricanes doesn't work as well for me.
It's fair.
The tsunami skillet, I'm all in.
All right, well, I'm buying, so.
Well, then sign me up.
Because it's also a good meal at a good price.
Absolutely.
So, big thanks to Buzz Inn. Been a long-time supporter here of us at Evergreen Speedway. Hoops is out in front, and that is Diesel Snyder right there to chase him down. Snyder, after a nondescript Hornet main event, having a really good Stinger 8 feature here.
Maybe the 717 had that car more tuned for this 8 and less for the road course. Not a ton of adjustments on these Hornet cars. Like I said, they're mostly stock cars. Some slight changes this year in the package, allowing these Hornets and Stingers to be a little bit closer together and run more races with each other, which we're excited for. So we'll see maybe Diesel Snyder showing his true calling here on the 8.
That is the 43 of Damon Claiborne, who has moved his way up into third now with leaders at the tail end of a line that might cause some brake check here or there. Claiborne's got a chance to run both of them down. We're down to 10 to go. Hoops is going to shoot the gap in between the two. And he will continue on with Snyder second, Claiborne, and the third spot trying to run them down in the middle of some intersection action.
Yeah, these drivers talk about whether it's a Stinger driver, a super stock driver, or an outlaw driver. They tell you when you come off that pole and you're looking down the intersection, it is a split-second decision. Do I go, do I not go? And we've seen some of our rookies, Kylie and Surian, been more ample to get on the brake. Diesel Snyder's gotten on the brake a little bit. Cody Hoops,
right through.
Right through, head down, gas down, and I'm not lifting. So that maybe is the experience that you gain racing in this class more, is when you're going to brake and when, Riley Riddell, fishtail getting out of that way.
managed to get through, but you look at it, Claiborne got into the tail of Snyder and gave him just the right little bump at the right time that sent him sailing too far into the corner, and Claiborne's gonna get by. Coming off the North Pole, or at least at the entrance here to the South Pole, you'll expect that his advantage will push him forward and into second, and it does.
And here comes Matt Somerville making his way from the back. He's in this battle now in the top 5. Our defending champ's going to have a couple guards. Jenkins also gets around Snyder. Ooh, but Jenkins going to take some bumper full. Cody Hoops, still your leader with 6 to go. There's one Jenkins car. He's closing on the back of Surian right now. So right now, Hoops, Claiborne, Hunter Jenkins running 1, 2, 3.
It's a big gap between Hoops and Claiborne. Claiborne's going to have to be on the hammer to run him down, although Surian's car up ahead of Cody, slowing him up just a tad. Down to 5 laps left. He'll get up and around Rudell. Boy, traffic jam for your leader. Claiborne soaking up the distance in a big hurry.
Yeah, holy cow, there was just cars everywhere. All of a sudden, this gap is now non-existent. Damon Claiborne's going to get right to the back bumper here of Cody Hoops with 4 to go. The fight is back on, and Cody Hoops, you know, went from maybe a little bit more of a leisurely drive to maybe having to have a little bit more caution in the wind with lap cars around him, and now Damon Claiborne right on his back bumper.
Yeah, that went from a healthy distance to right there on him in a hurry. Look out, Hunter Jenkins. Look out, Surian around. Meanwhile, there's Claiborne. He'll get the nose ahead. He leads that lap. Makes his way all the way through. Hoops coming back.
Keep
and
himself
Cody
planted.
Hoops, yeah, gets the lead back from Claiborne, but Claiborne was ahead at the line on the last time by.
Well, that's a lot of contact. Shoe car, Somerville. Do we have cars hooked together? I'm not sure. Shoe car, Somerville, but I think it's a little further back. We're not there. Hoops still leading right now from Claiborne. Coming back around the South Pole.
Caution is out. Well, this is going to be interesting. So Claiborne, we're assuming we didn't see the whole thing. We're going to give you a lot of look at the replays here. We didn't see the entirety of it, but we know Claiborne led, and we are assuming that that lap got complete. Now we're watching the next time by. Here's the thing. I don't think all those cars got back around to complete the lap that Hoops retakes the lead. That's going to put Claiborne back in front.
I think Claiborne's going to, and it's a Delaware-style restart here in the Stinger division, so Claiborne's going to have sole control of that first place in that front row, because I think majority of the cars did not get back around and complete another lap.
Wow. Well, sometimes those rules work for you. Sometimes they work against you. We'll see how Hoops handles it when we come back to finish the Stinger 8 A-main event after this on Seattle 11. Well, it has been a wild Stinger 8 main event. A lot of contact, a late lead change, 3 to go, and a restart coming up here on Home Track Heroes, presented by All Ply Roofing. Damon Claiborne, top spot by himself, side by side behind him. Cody Hoops and Matt Somerville gunning for the top spot as we will roll around one more time and come into the green.
Yeah, this is 3 fast cars right up front for 3 laps. We'll see who can get to victory lane. Can Damon Claiborne hang on? Because he's got a pair of teammates and 2 very fast cars. 5 championships between them behind him.
All right, green is out underway. Claiborne, top spot. Hoops going to have to play some defense from the ultra-quick Matt Somerville. Somerville, defending champion in the division. Hoops, former champion in and of himself. As those 3 string out, we'll have 2 to go this time around.
Yeah, we'll see. Hoops is going to need to get a good run here at Claiborne. Claiborne very fast in his own right, so this is not just a gimme for Hoops to try to get back to Claiborne. Claiborne knows his way around this 8. More contact. That's Hop and Hathaway further back in the field. These cars really giving each other the welcome bumpers.
Yeah, if Peyton Hop needed an Advil or 2 after tonight, I wouldn't blame him in the least, as we've seen him on the wrong end of a couple. Meanwhile, Claiborne has just enough pad, I think, to feel comfortable coming into this final lap, Ben.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Hoops is going to have to full send it into the North Pole, but even then, I don't know that he's got enough room to run, as Damon Claiborne will come around the left-hander for one final time and see the checkered flag to Damon Claiborne.
Claiborne, Hoops, Somerville, 1, 2, and 3. Good battle in behind him with Hathaway stuffing into, once again, the victorious Ute tire.
That's before the line.
To the podium we go.
All right, Matt. First race of the season, chaotic to say the least. I want to go back to 3 to go. You're right there in the thick of it as Hunter Jenkins and Diesel Snyder are battling. You're 3 wide. What's going through your head?
It was so crazy in front of me. I just was kind of a little bit having a hard time catching them, but also like something's got to give here between all these guys. And finally it did.
You put on a great show, and you've been doing that for a couple of years now. Who would you like to thank?
Airport Welding and Muffler, John Bender Racing, Big Scott from next door. I want to give a shout out to Diesel Snyder. He put on a heck of a show in his first Stinger 8 race, and it was fun to watch. I think he's going to be dangerous this year.
Driver the number 21, third place tonight, Matt Somerville. Cody, you seem to have an unmatched composure going through the intersection. Lifting when it's perfect too, making the right moves. How do you do that?
You know, I don't really know. The intersection was hot tonight. Every time you went through, it was close. Drove hard, made the right decisions. That restart, I really don't understand what happened. I was leading that race. I always thought when you restart, you go back to last completed lap. I don't really understand. But Damon's got a fast car. He's always a good competitor. I just really wish I could have won that one. It felt like I earned it.
Who would you like to thank for getting the car out here tonight?
Tom Easley out here helping me all day, John Bender, JBR, Matt Somerville, Dave Riddell, Cascade Auto.
Driver the number 10, second place tonight, Cody Hoops. Well, Damon, the rumor is aiming to come back for full-time competition again. It's been 2 years. How you feeling to start it off like this?
Honestly, can't ask for a better first night. Winning the Hornet main wouldn't have been cool, but I was having some transmission issues during that race. Kept dropping me back. I'd get back ahead, and then I'd get dropped back again. Still came home with a fourth in that one, which was honestly I didn't expect, so I'm pretty happy with that. And this Stinger race was really rough. There was a lot of beating and banging. There was a lot of bumper being used, but it was a lot of fun. And I mean, to be honest, if it weren't for that caution and the way the scoring happened, Cody would have won that race. It was just a matter of positioning. I wasn't going to try to move him to pass him. I expect, they would do the same in return. Just luck of the draw. I'd gotten by him the lap before the caution flag, right at the line, and I didn't even realize it until about halfway through the pacing, and I looked up the scoreboard and I was scored in first. So after that, I knew I had a pretty good shot at winning it. I just had to outrun Matt and Cody. They were hard charging, and both of them were really fast tonight. Great race. Again, I just couldn't be happier. And yes, the rumors are true. I'm full-time this year. I'm not going to say I'm running for points. I'm out here running for fun, and the points are just going to land where they land.
A season full of tough battles ahead, I'm sure. Who's helping you do it?
I want to thank my whole crew back there, the Hornets and Youth racing team. Those guys are awesome. They've helped me so much with the car. We help each other out all the time. It's great camaraderie. We race each other clean. We race each other hard. It's a great time. Brandy Hood Promotions. She does all my vinyl. She does my GoPro video, and she's just all around an amazing person. Dan Miller and GN Northwest, and soon to be on the car, hopefully sooner than later, Kia of Everett. So please, if you're looking for a new car, go check out our Kia dealership.
Driver the number 43, race winner tonight, Damon Claiborne.
A victorious Damon Claiborne walking away with the first Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8 main event of the year. Well, folks, it is time. Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Models going 75 times around on the 3/8 mile oval here on Home Track Heroes. Let's get a look. It is the returning Dawson Cox in the 7D out of Arlington, sponsored by Dry Crawl Sweepers. Outside of him, it's a new look for Chad Fitzpatrick in the 12C out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by Trademark RCS.
Row 4 sees the 74 of Haley Constance out of Snohomish and sponsored by Joe's Racing Products, alongside the 00 of Nema Lang, bringing back the 00 out of Linwood, sponsored by J&R Trucking.
Third row, there's Jesse Jensen. Wonder where he is, driving the Andy Solo number 12. Brock Reynolds sponsors that car out of Stanwood. And it is our resident preacher, Jeff Knight, the 70 out of the Northwest, the Nitrous Ranch Cattle car.
The 32, Chase Gardner, is out of Snohomish, sponsored by Quality Towing. He'll be alongside returner Greg Bennett in the 98 out of Seattle, sponsored by Bennett Design and Construction.
The 5th row is the 2 of Mike Marthaler in the 2 car from Everett, direct carpet cleaning and house cleaning. Brandon Brock's 94 out of Stanwood, the Apsher build car, starts 10th. Then it's Kyle Lang, the rookie, in the 33 out of Snohomish. Phillips Law Firm sponsors him. And the 14 of Colton Price, Northwest Boiler sponsors it. Out of Everett, your 12 cars for 75 times around. Chad Fitzpatrick, the early leader, nosing ahead on Dawson Cox, who's still battling him hard on the inside and sending up a shower of sparks.
Yeah, tough battle from these top 5. I have to make one quick correction for you, though, Caleb. That 12, that is the Moriarty machine that Jesse Jensen is piloting tonight, actually.
Aha,
so
gotcha.
He hops in the Moriarty hot seat and will pilot around in 4th. But lots of storylines here for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models coming into the year. Chad Fitzpatrick leads from Dawson Cox, Lang and Jensen. The biggest storyline has to be tires. This is a new slick tire that these cars are running coming into this race. And Caleb, we saw the lap times tumbling in practice. Over 8 drivers in this field broke the previous track record on the 3/8s for a Pro Late model.
Ooh, Dawson Cox put the nose to the inside of the 12C of Chad Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick holds him off for the time being, really, and Chad has talked about it. He's talked about it on this show. In fact, when he's doing color commentary, he will defend the bottom vigorously. He says, cool, I'll give you a lane around the outside, but you're not going to pass me down low unless you root me out of there.
Absolutely. We go to the quad box with Dawson Cox, with Brandon Brock, and with Greg Bennett. He's for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models. Chad Fitzpatrick, good to see him back out. Only ran about half the season last year. Was involved in an incident during the Mark Galloway Twin 70s last year. So good to see him. Dawson Cox, new scheme for the 7D, currently defending from the 8-time champ Naima Lang.
As a side note, you will see Jensen at some point in the Soul
Yes,
Pro Late
yes,
model.
you are correct.
Yes.
No,
tonight
sorry.
he is in the
Tonight
Moriarty
he's in the
car.
Moriarty machine,
Yes.
but yes.
So, good luck quad boxing going on here as you look at Cox, Bennett, and Brock all rolling around. And right now, out in front of the field, Fitzpatrick's liking the slicks. Clearly, that car looks nice and stable.
Yeah, that car is kind of settling in. So is this top 5 right now. Haley Constance running off in 5th place. Can't forget about that 78 moving wire. And our rookie, Kyle Lang, last year's legend champion, jumping up to the Pro Late models in the beautifully designed 33 Sheen. Another driver to note, Colton Price, making his way back from the back of the field. Ran, I think, about 3 practice laps, missed qualifying, missed the Happy 10, working on issues with the 14, but starts from the rear and will make the march forward tonight.
Yeah, and very few guys scramble as well as Colton Price does. He is capable of quite a lot from the back of the field. We'll keep our eyes on him as he marches forward. Got to thank Chain Link Express Car Wash for absolutely the best car wash ever. Treat your favorite ride with a brand new Chain Link Express Wash in Monroe. Express Wash has multiple wash packages designed to meet your budget needs. Manage your Chain Link Express Wash account easily and on the go. Download the app from the App Store on Google Play today.
Thank you to our friends at Chain Link Express Wash.
Naima Lang, the 00, the multiple-time track champion. Just a car length and change back in behind Cox. You remember in the early years, the rookie and second season of Dawson's formative racing, those two developed quite the rivalry in the early goings. Let's see if that picks back up here in 2025. Naima looks fast. That car looks really good. He's able to put that thing high. Tries the middle, coming into the corner, ducks it right back down, and has just enough of a gap. He'll make the bid to the inside of Cox into turn number 1 and gets the door closed.
Yeah, not quite there. You can see the little flapabouts off the 00 hood, little tags on the pins, kind of trying to see where the airflow is going. But Chad Fitzpatrick leads fairly comfortably right now. A long race, 75 laps, going to be lots of time for these cars to close gap. This is Chad Fitzpatrick not home yet.
So one thing to monitor on this, you mentioned they're now on the slicks instead of the 970s. Tire wear and tire life will be a factor in a 75-lap race. We'll see how these drivers tend to manage their cars and manage what happens with them. Naima again has got a half lane on Dawson to the inside. Cox with enough momentum to continue keeping the door closed out at turn number 2, but Lang has been right there a couple of times.
Yeah, just staying with him. Dawson Cox has had a lot of speed. These two were some of our faster cars in qualifying. Naima Lang was your top qualifier coming into the day and setting a new track record at a 16.2 flat The 00 looking to make its way onto the 7D. Not quite there. We on board with Nema Lang.
All right, split box here. There's on board with Nema. Meanwhile, Colt Price sneaking his way past Marthaler in the 2 car. So on his way forward is Price, who I believe will crest in position number 9 now with that pass. And here's Jensen with a look to the inside on Lang for 3rd.
And Haley Constance has closed up quite a battle we got going on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Side by side. Jensen's right with Lang, but ooh, runs into, I think, Dawson Cox. Nema Lang's going to say, hello, outside, hello, clean air.
I think Nema had to make that move coming up because there was Jesse, there was Haley working their way back to him. Now Cox gets out of line, and we can see him shuffle more than a spot, although he got back down in the corner as Jensen takes 3rd away from the 7D.
Yeah, it'll be Haley Constance next, but right now Chad Fitzpatrick has a new threat, and that is Nema Lang going to be charging hard from him. This is a big gap right now, but that gap is not necessarily going to last. I mean, we know the 00's got a lot of speed, and now Clean Air has a good chance to run down Chad Fitzpatrick. His problems with the 7D. Constance goes by. Here comes Jeff Knight as well. Maybe the 7D's experiencing some sort of issues, kind of starting to fall through the field.
Well, part of that too, and I'm keeping an eye on Haley because this is the debut of the Joe's Racing Products late model chassis, actually built just literally 15-20 miles away here from Evergreen Speedway, and this is the maiden voyage for it. As they learn more about the car, looks like she's getting stronger as this race goes on. 25 laps or so into it, 78's picking up the pace.
Yeah, definitely. Again, we talk about the tire wear too. So many different games you can play. Is how long do you sit and you wait and you conserve before you finally get up on the gas pedal and start to close up gap? Maybe Haley letting some battle, gonna get, hey, let's get 15 laps, get our bearings back in it, trying the new chassis that just got built, and now let's go for it.
Yeah, a lot of things, a lot of questions that you're gonna have. What's it gonna do as it gets long? We're finding out, at least here in the first third, it's strong as Chase Gardner and Greg Bennett going to battle the black and red 98 car. And Gardner, Mike Gardner's kid, the white and green number 32. They'll go side by side for just a second. Bennett streaking away. We have got more Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model main event coming up. Chad Fitzpatrick leads. Nema Lang is chasing him. How's it going to end up? More after this time out here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. 1/3 of the race in the books. The final 49 coming at you here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Huge thank you to All Ply Roofing, not just our segment sponsor, our show sponsor overall. All Ply Roofing, is your roof keeping up with the weather? Western Washington dishes out. Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate at allplyroofing.com. Your residential and commercial roofing team, that's All Ply Roofing. I'm Caleb Hart. I am been a fun Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model main event. This is the race for 3rd. Jesse Jensen driving the Moriarty 12 machine, and Haley Constance debuting the Joe's Racing chassis number 78, trying to chase him down and doing a good job of it, looks like.
Yeah, this is a good run right now for the 78. Slowly reeling in Jesse Jensen in the Moriarty 12. Nema Lang has gotten around these cars. This is also a good battle. Chase Gardner, Greg Bennett, that's for 6th place right now. And you saw Colton Price starting to appear in that picture, starting to run those cars down.
So one thing to note here is that the 78 car has not run slicks very much. Occasionally, it's happened once in a blue moon, but she spent most of her late model career on the 970 tire, so this could be a bigger adjustment process for Haley than it may be as some of the other drivers who have some more slick experience. So we'll see how she ends up choosing to attack it and what she learns over the course of the race and the new race tire that is going to be on our late models this year. Nema Lang, he's got lots of experience no matter what the tire is, and it's showing here as he runs in 2nd and tries to chase down Fitzpatrick.
And we go on board with Greg Bennett now. Looks like,
slowing Greg Bennett.
Pulling towards the infield. Problems for the 98 on his return. Going to park up over by our friends at the Cascade Push Truck Association.
Missed having Greg with us for the bulk of the season last year here at Evergreen Speedway. Nice to have him back. Thank you to Brand New Promotions for the IndyCar camera review. Fitzpatrick is going to put a lap here on the 94.
That's Brandon Brock. And now here comes the battle for the lead. Nema Lang is now starting to appear in the same camera shot as Chad Fitzpatrick. And the runoff of 4. This is going to be a good battle. The 8-time champ in Nema Lang versus Chad Fitzpatrick, one of the youngest champs at Evergreen Speedway history. And his classes. It's going to be a good battle between two skilled drivers.
And Fitzpatrick's got a little bit of a push. I say that. I saw it in the middle of turn number 2, and I saw it there in turn 3 as well. You look at it, there it is. He had to square the corner to try to keep the low groove hammered down and protected the way that he likes to. But that's going to cost him as far as track speed overall goes, and especially with 2 cars ahead of him that he's going to have to pass.
Yeah, right now, Name-A-Lang getting to the bumper, and look at that. That battle in front of them, those are two, they'll be the next lap cars. Kyle Lang running 9th, Mike Marthaler running 8th. But that's a battle for position, Caleb. Those cars aren't necessarily just going to want to pull aside and give up all the speed to the leaders when you're battling out for a spot in front of you.
And I think that's part of it. You see JD up in the flag stand right now. We don't see him retracting a blue and yellow flag right now. That battle for position in front of him is the difference in points and money. So for those 2 drivers, you kind of got to let them race it out. If you're the leader, okay, it's my job to figure out how to get around them. So decision time coming for Fitzpatrick with Lang in the position to just kind of be a predator at this point.
Now we go on board with the 78 Haley Constance closing the gap on Jesse Jensen, filling in the 12 machine tonight. That'll be a lap car in front of them, so Jensen will go low. Brock does well, gets up off the track, gives these cars faster on the track, gives them some room, and Constance trying to reel in the 12 machine here. This is a good battle for the final spot on the podium.
Digging hard in the bottom groove and has half a groove underneath Jensen's 12. They roll their way into turn number 3. Back to your battle in the front. Once again, predator and prey. It is Fitzpatrick trying to get by Marthaler. And the 0-0 of Lang just looking for opportunity as he hunts him into 3.
Yeah, looks like Mike Marthaler, Kyle Lang, somewhere that battle got disrupted. Kyle Lang has fallen off that pace a little bit. That's going to allow the leaders just to go by. Dawson Cox appearing in your picture. Unfortunately for him, a significant amount of laps down, had some issues, had to exit the track. So while he's fast and appearing in the picture, unfortunately that is not for position.
Down to the bottom goes Haley Constance seeking 3rd. There's a push mid-corner from Jensen. Perfect timing. Constance right there to pounce. They'll go side by side for 3rd into turn number 1.
Yeah, the 78, the Joe's Racing Products machine alongside the Brock Reynolds 12. And here's a good battle for the lead. We go on board with Name-A-Lang as he looks to hunt down Chad Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick defending with all his life again. Like you mentioned, he's going to defend the low line. Nema, you want it? You're coming around me, or you're moving me?
I wonder if Nema saw the same thing that I did with the 12 not able to hold the bottom as well as he was and having to scrub speed to do it. Made the run to the outside groove and thought, all right, now's my time. Let's see what I can do. Speaking of guys who are fast and behind him, Dawson Cox pacing your leaders, albeit a bunch of laps down, but boy, the 70's got some speed. Even though he is a lap down, he's got to be looking at, you know, it's a tough position for Dawson. He wants to race, he wants to go hard, but you don't want to affect the battle for the lead.
No, not at all, but this is promising for the Dawson Cox team that you know that whatever next week or whenever you're next back out, you're going to be able to get that car set back in place and probably have a good run and some good speed. It looks like Lang might have enough here to get around the 12. He clears them into turn 1 and 2. New leader, Nama-Lang.
Lang puts the finishing move on Fitzpatrick. He's got the spot. Jesse Jensen rallying back to the middle and outside. We've seen with all of his racing in the street stock stuff, he is comfortable in that middle to upper groove and really making Haley work for it, and she is not clear yet.
No, not yet at all, but we're having side-by-side battles everywhere on track. Good racing here. It looks like Constance might finally have Jensen clear. We'll see where Jensen looks to set this move up. Like you said, he likes that outside line. Maybe he'll try to set up a crossover. Got a little loose, though. It looks like the 78 of Constance finally clears up into 3rd.
Important data for that 12 team moving forward for the rest of their season as well, because Jesse's going to want to give them the best feedback he can. So, of course, he ran that car hard in that outside line, and now we'll have some great feedback to give to Trent and Tom and the crew. Moving forward, we've got a driver sneaking in the picture in 5th. Jeff Knight closing in on that battle.
Yeah, Jeff Knight in that 70's closing up. Is right now, Nama-Lang has put some good gap up on Chad Fitzpatrick. And you can see the gap back here. That's all lap traffic to right here. Constance, Jensen, Jeff Knight, 3, 4, 5. Good battle here for the 70 coming back into the picture.
Wow, so I'm looking at it behind it. Haley is ultra smooth, but Jensen's getting into the corner with a lot of speed. It almost looks like that car is getting into the corner and whipping through it. It's a really quick race car, and boy, Knight is putting together a handful of strong laps behind him, trying to pick up 4th here in an early season run. Jeff Knight has been if I said part-time, I think that would be being generous to part-time over the last couple of seasons. Nice to see him back here in the season opener, and I hope we can see 70 quite a bit more.
Yeah, Jeff says he plans on running a full schedule this year. He's going to make it work, and yeah, here comes the 70 down the inside of Jensen. Haley Constance has put some good gap between them as these two potentially squabble it out for fourth. Jeff Knight bringing some heat. Again, Jeff Knight, another driver, we talked about the new tires, hadn't had practice sessions outside of the race day. He had the 2 practices earlier and the Happy 10. He, out of everyone else, ran the most amount of laps in practice in the Happy 10, really putting almost like a race sim down and across those few sessions because he wanted to learn these tires, and it's paying off here because he's slowly been creeping across this race, and now he's in a good battle for fourth.
Yeah, look at that. They are nose to nose as they come across the line. Jensen had it the last time around, but Knight wants to take it from him. And racing each other clean on top of that. All of our drivers have been doing a great job of laying off each other. You don't see a whole lot of tire smileys on the cars as they come across. This battle between Knight and Jensen. Door panel to door panel down the back straightaway with 18 to go here at Evergreen Speedway.
Yeah, side by side, good action here. Marthaler, that's lap traffic. That's going to might play a factor. Haley Constance is around the 2. We'll see if Marthaler comes into this. We'll see where the 2 sits, and can maybe Jeff Knight use that as like a pick. Maybe try to push Jensen to the high side. We'll see where Marthaler ends up.
Jensen got up racetrack and found more speed, by the way. I wonder if he needed to get up racetrack just about 5 or 6 feet to hold momentum. The problem is Marthaler right in his line that time going into 1, and he had to lift big time, and that lets Knight get through the wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, Jeff Knight up into 4th. Moving forward, talk about big movers too. Colton Price has moved his way up into 7th, started at the back of the field, and might be looking for Chase Gardner, would be his next pass up into 6th.
Well done, Colton Price. Lacking a little team time for him, but at the same time, heck of a run for Colton.
Absolutely.
Who really was thrashing on that car at the very last minute, and to come out and have problems today. It's been an uphill battle for him, but nice to see it paying off of car passes here in the 75-lap A-main event.
And right now, the car to beat is the 00 of Nema Lang. The 00 sitting comfortable, looking like having no issues. And given my luck earlier, I might not want to be saying this all right now, but
it's been a couple of segments. We might be okay.
We might be okay. If any driver feels curse-proof, it might be Nema Lang.
Wow, now you're really tempting fate. I just want, let's throw this down right now. If something happens to the 00 car, we know the power of Ben Hyman.
That is fair. That is fair.
4 seconds. No, it's still a ways off because that's Dawson in behind Chad.
Yeah.
Is it not? Okay.
This is starting to heat up in a good battle. Jeff Knight starting to run down Haley Constance. Going to have to get around for some lap traffic. Brock and Lang. Kyle Lang, the rookie in this field, talking about learning a late model, making the jump from Legends. What's different? Had practice on some 970s, put slicks down for the first time just a couple days ago. So, you know, new trials for the 33, and he's enjoying every moment of it after talking with him.
Brandon Brock bringing the car out this year. He's got an interesting story behind him that we'll dip into further weeks as well. Spent a lot of time behind the video camera. So Brandon Brock going to be an interesting addition to our late model field this year, and getting some very valuable seat time in here as we are down to single-digit laps left. And boy, if this just doesn't feel like vintage Evergreen Speedway at this point in time. Nema Lang, the 00, and leading on opening night.
Absolutely. Nema Lang looks like he brought the fastest car. Last year, opened the season a little slow. Maybe wasn't the year that Lang Autosports was hoping to have, but Nema continued to work on that car and got faster and faster and faster as the year went out. Still had a top 3 finish and had an outside shot at the title at the end of the year. So not like he had an off year, I would never say, although he might say that's an off year in its own right.
Well, let's take into account this as well. Last year was the year of Wyatt Gardner, who came out and just stamped a championship. Everything that could have gone right for Wyatt tended to go right, where normally when the ball bounced, the ball didn't bounce the right way for Nema. Wyatt is going to be a little more picky and choosy this year with his schedule. We're not going to see him full time. He's not here on opening night, but from the strength of Nema back onto the slicks, I can't wait for our first Lang versus Gardner race coming up on this year.
It for sure will be quite the battle, and I'm excited to see as this year goes out. This late model class is looking very exciting this year. And to talk about exciting, this battle on track.
We've got a lot of exciting things coming up this year for the late model division, to the point where they're already starting to enter for the summer showdown. We can't tell you who, but It's top secret at this point.
Absolutely, but keep an eye out.
However, yeah, they have already started for the showdown coming up, the crown jewel of the midsummer. One of the guys who's after it, Nema Lang, coming into 3 to go and showing how strong he is, looking to be at Evergreen Speedway here in 2025. What a night for him.
Yeah, Nema Lang definitely going to be one of the cars to beat this year, but like we talked about in the street stocks, so many cars showed speed in practice and qualifying, and how things have bounced his way. I think there are quite a few cars in this late model field who could pick up feature wins throughout the year.
Well, we'll see how it breaks as Jeff Knight just slanging that thing around the racetrack, trying to roll in on the 78 of Haley Constance will split screen. Jesse Jensen's got an interesting view of that battle up and ahead of him here in the final couple of laps. In fact, the final lap as Lang rolls the white flag this time around.
It's the best battle on track, the battle for third for sure. Jesse Jensen a little bit too far out of the picture. Unless he can close up a lot here. He's found a lot of speed on that higher groove. Nema Lang makes his way down the backstretch into 3 and 4, and the quest for 9 championships starts tonight. Nema Lang wins the season opener 75-lap late model race.
Strong effort from Chad Fitzpatrick here on opening night. A real solid second place finish for him, plus laps led. Constance, the new car, debuts in third. Well done, young lady. Let's go down to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Tough race out there, Haley, but to come up on the podium first race out, how does that feel?
Feels really awesome. This is a brand new car for me, brand new car in general. I'm super, super proud of my team for getting together. It was a great piece right out of the bat, which is all I can ask for. I'm a little bit disappointed with my performance. I wish we could have done a little bit better, but you know, that's just driver error and I'll learn as I go.
Yeah, you had Jeff Knight running you down right in the end, having to play defense. Talk about how are you guys managing these new tires?
Yeah, I mean, I've ran on slicks a few times before, so I know how the wear is a little bit. It's hard having pressure towards the last couple of laps because you're already tired. You're pushing the car as much as possible, and then with that tire wear, you're just holding on for dear life. So I'm glad I could hang on to it and pick up the podium position.
And who do you want to thank for helping get out here tonight?
My dad, a huge, huge thank you to my dad and everybody who got the car together. Jeff, Tyson, everybody at the shop, Mike Buell for coming out, my papa, my family, everybody who comes out to Evergreen every weekend. And I'm sure there's a Central Welding, there's a bunch of people I'm forgetting, but that's all I can get off the top of my head right now.
All right, let's give it up. Third place tonight, Haley Constance. All right, Chad, I've been asking for a while, how's the car, how's the car, how's the car? And you told me, well, we'll see you at the end of the race. So, Chad, how's the car?
Well, it's in one piece, so it's really good. I'd take second for opening night. You know, I thought I had a chance of winning, but as the race went on, the car kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So, but yeah, I hope for the fans it was a good race. I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah, talk about running up in the top 3. You had the 00 staring you down for a lot of that. What goes through your mind when you're having to manage wear and the drivers around you and then lap traffic on top of it?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of lap traffic tonight. I've raced with Nema for about 8 years now, and I love racing with him. He'll pass me on the outside. I mean, we'll race each other clean, and we could be door to door for laps like you guys just saw tonight. So yeah, it was a good night.
And who do you want to thank helping you get out here?
I got to, of course, thank all my sponsors, Trademark, RCS, Mazda of Everett, Powder Coating Inc., Snohomish Co-op, Fastenal, Auto Be There Inc., Exident, and then of course all my crew. They have to put up with me all year and put up with me throughout the race, and it was a good race day. So thank you all.
Good run for the 12th seed tonight. Second place, Chad Fitzpatrick. All right, Nema, good run tonight. You're running with Chad close, door to door for a lot of that race, and once you finally got by him, you didn't look back. So how are you feeling these tires, and how are you feeling the car coming into the year?
Tires are going to take a little bit to get used to. They get away from you pretty quick if you miss the corner or whatever, but they repeat well. It's a good tire. Car was really good. It's been a while since I've been up here. Just the 00 is going to be the car this year.
Yeah, looking good. Once you got past Chad, you didn't look back. Who do you want to thank for helping you get out here tonight?
I got to thank my whole crew. You know, we switched this super late over to the pro late, and it's been a good car ever since. My crew, we work hard every week, and I can't thank those guys enough.
All right, let's give it up. Your race winner tonight and the first Pro Label winner of the year, Nema Lang.
Well, there we go, Ben. It is in the books. Home Track Heroes Episode 1, Season 6.
I know, wow.
Heck of a night.
Great night, I think. Lots of action on track, lots of new winners for the year to open us up. It's just good to be back.
I like it. It is nice to be back once again. Next week on the show, opening night number 2, and taking a look at it, is Figure 8 Palooza, Outlaws and Super Stocks here. Mini Stocks Legends, Pro 4 Trucks, serious bus racing.
Serious bus racing.
That's right, with rules and drivers and all that stuff. So we'll see how that all goes out. That's next week here on the show. Tune in for that. Next time you can be live at the track, Saturday, April 12th. It is Rev Up Energy Night. It'll be basically the show you saw tonight. Pro Late Model, Street Stocks, Hornets, Youth Hornets, and Stinger 8s. Want to thank everybody involved in the production, our awesome camera crew, the drone shots, the Brandy Hood promotion in-car shots. For Ben Iman, for Derek Hobbs on production, I'm Caleb Hart. We will see you next Sunday night here on Seattle 11 for more Home Track Heroes.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.